Hey guys, it's me, Jimmy Lou from the Messy Craft Corner, and today's tutorial, this is a pre-recorded video on how to wrap a cover. So I've been working on this little prototype book, and I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to film and show you how to wrap a cover. So hang tight and we're gonna get started. So I've cut my chipboard to the size that I want. Now the size that I have today is 9 by 5 and then 9 by 3, but this is for a specific size book that I'm working on. So you can do this technique with whatever size book that you're making, whether it be a 10 by 10 or an 8 by 8 or 6 by 4 or a little 3 by 3, whatever size book that you want. So you need 2 pieces of chipboard the same size for your covers, and then a piece of chipboard for your spine. So first thing that I do is I start adding up some tape. This 8.5 by 11 paper is the exact size that I'll need for wrapping up our cover. So add a little piece of tape here because I need to create a longer piece of cardstock, and this is just 65-pound weight cardstock. And I'm going to tape 2 8.5 by 11 sheets together. So I added a little bit of double-sided tape, and then I added a little bit of glue. So I use the edge of my cutting tool to line this up so that I'm sure that it's straight, and press it down. And now we have one long sheet of 8.5 by 11 and 8.5 by 11 glued together. Then you're going to take your chipboard and add some tape. The most common question I get when doing this is, why am I adding tape and glue? And it's kind of like when you see a DIYer adding E6000 with hot glue. The tape helps to hold the chipboard in place so you can continue working until your glue sets up. So the second most asked question when I'm doing something like this is, what kind of glue do you use? Well, the kind of glue that I really like to use is art glitter glue, which is a really good glue. It's a little on the expensive side, and Jimmy Lou is allergic to it, so I can't use the art glitter glue like I like. So I found this substitute, and it's called Neutral pH Adhesive by Linco, and it's actually a really good adhesive. The only quirk I have with the glue is when it comes, the lid has this little flip top, and it's not good. So I save my lids from other things like my Fabri-Tac and my other art glitter glue bottles, and they fit onto their bottle just nicely. So the next part of this is we're going to take the backing off of the double-sided tape. Got to get your fingers a hold of it. So just pull up that backing. If you can get your fingers on it. There we go. And then again, add some glue, and we're going to add it to the page, to the paper. Now, what you have to be careful of when you're doing this is that the edge of the paper that's pieced together and the edge of any of your pieces should not butt up against one another. They really should overlap. So when you see the crease here, it's a little tough to see on camera. I want to make sure that this isn't like butt right up against it, but that this piece here is going to kind of go over the center of it. So just drop your piece in place, press this down, and then do the same with the other 2 pieces. Now, when you put your spine against your covers, you don't want it flush up against like this. You want to leave about 1/8 to 1/4 inch space in between, so that way when you're opening and closing your book, you don't get any cracking along the outside of your spine, because then you have to do some repair and it's just an extra step. So if you're really cautious, you can space it just right. You can also use something called Tyvek, which you can buy on Amazon. And Tyvek is kind of like a plasticky type thinner paper, and you can cover your spines on the inside with it to help protect the rest of the book. I've never used it, and I've never really had a problem, but I do know people who have used it because they just feel more safe with it protecting their spine. So that really is a choice that's up to you. So this is our last piece. I hope everyone is having a really good day whenever it is that you get to watch this video. And I hope this video, save it so that you can, you know, refer back to it whenever you need to cover an album. So I just dripped a little bit of glue there. Let's get that off. If glue gets into the cracks of your scoreboard, you will have trouble doing the actual scoring. So always be careful with your glue and your scoreboard. So I'm just going to trim a real little bit off here so we don't have too much bulk at the edge. Okay, so now that it's covered like so, I'm going to miter cut all 4 corners. And the way that I miter cut is I start cutting towards the corner. I leave about 1/8 of an inch space at the corner, and then I rotate and pivot and chop the rest off. That little 1/8 inch makes a difference in wrapping, so that way your little pokey corners are not exposed. So I do this on all 4 sides. Now I like to rotate. Some paper crafters you'll see, they'll just cut straight across. You do what works for you, whatever you're most comfortable with. There's no right or wrong way. The only good tip I'm really giving you here is leave that 1/8 of an inch space there. So that way when you wrap it up, you'll see. I'm going to show you. You're going to kind of poke it in. You'll be able to not have your little corners exposed. So let's go ahead and add some tape now to all 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, that's just going to hold it in place so I can continue to work with the book. There we go. Now what you want to do is 2 things here. Use a bone folder and burnish down your tape. It helps to break the fibers in the papers, and it helps the tape to adhere better. So just burnish that down. And then the second thing you want to do here is you want to start to massage the edge of your chipboard pieces and your cardstock. And again, I'm not sure if I don't remember if I mentioned it's 65-pound weight cardstock that I'm working with today. And we're just gonna go ahead and pull this over. I do all 4 sides, but then when I attach it down, I do my long sides first and my short sides second. I don't know why I do it that way. That's just the way I was taught to do it. So that's the way I do it. I don't really think there's a right or wrong way. Okay, so pull up my tape, add my glue. And especially when you're working with bigger books, longer books, it's best to pull in from the center and press down and then work your way out. So that way you don't get a wrinkle or a pucker that you don't want to have there. So use your bone folder and just kind of get that fold started so that when you go to fold it up, it doesn't pucker. There we go. Same thing in the center, work your way out. These are just little tips and tricks that I've learned along the way from a variety of paper crafters. And I can't even begin to tell you who I saw this one from. But just know that I did. So then we're going to do our sides up second. Now, when I go to do my sides up, this is where I want to make sure that I just use my nail and just kind of like fold that little 1/8 of an inch in. See how I'm just using my nail? You can also use your bone folder to do that. So when you pull it in, it's going to wrap right around that corner. Then you won't have that exposed chipboard corner. So just like so. And then we'll do this side, same thing. Just use your nail. If you don't want to use your nail, use your bone folder. Go ahead and add your glue. Pull it in. There we go. And then your book cover is ready for the next step. And the next step in most books becomes when you add your hinge system in the center. So I'll probably create a second tutorial teaching you how to create a hinge system. Thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate you all very much. Remember to always be kind, because you never know what someone might be going through. I hope that you have a really good rest of your day, whatever it is that you're doing. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this tutorial on how to wrap your chipboard into a book cover. Have a blessed day, and I will see you all real soon. Bye, guys.